dishes are done. So what I want to do now in the kitchen, I know, I told you, there's my other Santa. I told you I'm having a hard time letting Christmas go. He's my second Santa picture, just a little longer. But anyway, so my dishes are done. And now what I want to do is I want to focus on my floor. And I don't mean mop it, I mean hands and knees. Clean every once in a while. I like to get on my hands and knees and clean all the corners because you really can't do that well with a mop. You got to do that with, with your hands. Get some gloves on there, girls. And get to cleaning the floor every once in a while. At least I like to do mine like once every other month. Something like that. Where I get down on my knees and mop. But I mop often. So I want to do the floor, and I'm going to do that kind of cleaning on my floor. And then I want to do, my counters are pretty clean, but all the things that are on my counters could use some Windex. Let me turn the camera around and I'll show you my filthy floor in the corners, and I'll show you the things I want to clean on the countertops. Beautiful winter day. But starting over here, I want to clean that. I want to clean this thing here. The olive oil and the oil, those need to be cleaned. The stove is, see the back on the stove. It needs a good Windexing. These canisters could use a Windex. Coffee pot over here. These could use it. No dishes, but my mugs are fine because we use them all the time. Remember, I don't know if you noticed, if you saw my last video, I was saying I just have a hard time getting rid of my Christmas mugs. There they are, and I just love my Christmas mugs. It's not Christmas time, but I'm just enjoying them. Like I said, it's just me and my husband, so I'm enjoying them. And clean that. So just the things on the countertops, and then my floor. Now this floor, it has a lot of beveling in it, like bevel. Where it's a consistent pattern. It's just the way my floor is. But I'm not focusing on that because that's the way the floor is. What I'm focusing is on all the edging, all around, under here, go under there, as far as I can under the stove. All the edging needs to be done. And just with some Dawn soapy water. So let's see, maybe we'll do the floor last because I'm gonna get it dirty cleaning everything. So let's just do the countertops, and I want to talk about how to have a happy life while I'm cleaning the kitchen. Okay, I'm gonna clean everything on my countertops now. We'll start over in this corner and then we'll just work our way down. And my favorite cleaner for the kitchen counters is Jaws. I love Jaws because it's family safe, animal safe, environmental safe products. They have all kinds. They have bathroom, kitchen, Windex, glass cleaner. It's safe. So I'm just going to spray everything down and wipe it. And let's talk about how to have a happy life. Now, there are many angles to this teaching. And so we're just going to touch on a different one every time we talk. And today, I'm being led to talk about the angle of offense. I'm a Christian, and I believe in the fundamentals of the Bible. And the Bible has principles and concepts for everyone to be successful. And I will be teaching from those concepts. A lot of times people don't even realize that when somebody offends them, they need to deal with that offense. And a lot of times the natural thing to think is, if somebody offended me, if I deal with it, I'm helping that other person out. But and then therefore a lot of times we don't say anything because we feel like the person offended me, they don't deserve to be helped, or you don't want confrontation, or so many different reasons why people get offended and they don't go to that person and talk about it. Many reasons. But this is the area that I want to talk about. I want to talk about when somebody offends you, you've got to do something with that in order to have a happy life. Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll get offended, you'll hold it in, you'll not say anything, you'll get hurt initially, and then hurt that's not dealt with turns into anger or hatred. And then when you're angry, that's the worst one. Because when you're angry, anger likes to bring other of its friends to the surface. For example, say you have a financial struggle at the moment. Say you have problems with your family maybe. And before you got offended, you weren't really thinking about them. I mean, they were there, but you were getting through life. You were going through life. No one's life has no problems. You know, you were going through life. But then as soon as you get offended, all of a sudden, those other problems seem more real. And the reason why is that anger goes deep inside of you and it tries to find its buddies, which is other negativity in your life. And you start out being offended by one person, and then next thing you know, you're really angry about a bunch of things. And that's why you can't be happy in life if you're focusing on all the negativity that's in your life. And offense resurrects all of it. Now, if we were to deal with offense immediately, if somebody offends you, you have to figure out what to do, whether to go talk to the person, whether to just simply overlook it and forgive the person. If you're a prayer person, whether to pray about that situation for God to handle it. There's so many different ways to handle it, but you have to figure out how you got to handle it, but you got to handle it. You can't just let it go. Or else you will find yourself in a very dark place. Like, let's just use an example. Let's turn the camera around. All right, let's use an example. Somebody's talking to you and they say something very harsh. And you feel the sting. You feel the sting and you're like, did they just stun me like that? Wow, that was totally unnecessary. That was very hurtful. Okay. And then you say to yourself, I don't want to deal with the confrontation of the person, or I don't care about that person anyway, whatever excuse we use to not deal with it. And then what happens is, as time goes on and you think about it more and more, then you start getting angry because hurt has now left. Now you're angry. And then anger, remember, anger has buddies. And anger surfaces all the other things that are going on in your life. And now you're angry at your finances. You're angry at your brother. You're angry, of course, at the person that offended you. But you're angry at your job. You're angry, and then you're like, man, my life it really rocks. And you think that way all because one person offended you and you let it fester and it went deep and it brought up other surfacing things that you were kind of, you knew those other things existed, but you were handling it. You were keeping them at bay. You were not worrying about them, and to a large degree, you were keeping them at bay. And now all of a sudden, you feel sad, and you have this dark cloud hanging over you. And a lot of times what people do when this happens, they're not even aware what made it happen. They're not even aware that the offense brought all of that on. They just go with the feeling, and they just think the feeling is theirs. They just own the feeling and then feel bad. Taking care of offenses is very, very important to your everyday life if you want to be a happy person. So now you say, okay, what do I do? Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to talk about it, because 90%, listen to this statistic, 90% of offenses were not even meant. 90. They were misunderstandings. So what it does, 90% of the time, it's going to give the other person, once you go to confront them with a nice attitude, you're going to give them a chance to say, oh no, I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant at all. And then you'll go, oh, and then everything will be okay. That's the perfect scenario. And if you were to take care of offense with a good heart, that would be the outcome most of the time. Every once in a while, people really mean it. They mean to be mean. But most of the time, a lot of people, they don't even realize that they're being mean. Let's move the camera again over this way. There we go. Now, how do we confront people with a nice attitude? People that have offended you. Because one of the keys is confront with a nice attitude. So how do we do that? Well, we do it the same way every time. You start out with calling their name. So let's use a name hypothetically. I like the name Sarah, so let's say Sarah. So what we'll do is we'll use that name as an example. And you start out with, Sarah, I don't think you meant to hurt my feelings when you said my dress is too small. But I just want you to know that hurt my feelings. Then you pause. And you have now given the floor to the other person. So all you have to say every time, call them by their name. Say, I don't believe you meant to hurt my feelings when you said ... But you did. And you smile. And you say it nicely. Why? Because what we have to do is we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Use my statistics. Know that 90% of the people that offend you do not mean it. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt. And let's come to them with a smile on our face, because we want to solve the problem, because we want to have a happy life. It's all about you. It's not really about them. It's about you. So you can be free. That's why we go to people and we solve the problem, and we give people a benefit of the doubt, because we know that 90% of offenses are not meant. That's a statistic. So you pause, and now you give them the floor. And 90% of the time, if you do that right, like I said before, they will go, what? No. Okay? And then they'll give you an opportunity. That will give you an opportunity to hear what was really meant and what was really said from their heart. Now, sometimes we say things with our mouth and we don't mean what we say. That's a known fact. That's why sometimes when people say, that's why when people say harsh things to you, especially boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, spouses, partners, and when you revisit that conversation and you say to them, you said this, and they go, no, I didn't. And you say to yourself, okay, were we in like two different conversations? Yes, that's exactly what you said. No. They go, no, that's not what I said. You know why people do that? And they do it all the time. You know why they do that? Because they're responding to what they meant to say, not necessarily what they did say. And they didn't mean to say what they said. So months later, when you reenact it, they're like, I didn't say that. And you're like, yeah, you did, kind of thing. And I've learned to just drop that whole thing. I've also learned that when people, unless they're lying, but when people generally go, no, that's not what I said, I usually drop it. And I also usually take that as a key that they didn't really mean it. Listen, sometimes people say things they don't mean, and that's just life, and we have to be okay with that. Okay? That's if you want to be happy. If you want to be a happy person, you got to let things go. We got to let things go. Let things go. And so, if you say, all right, that's it. I'm not letting offense get me down anymore. I'm going to confront people that hurt my feelings very nicely. I'm going to call them by their name. And then I'm going to say, I don't think you meant to hurt me, but you did when you said that my dress was too small for me. 9 times out of 10, if that was like an actual instance, 9 times out of 10, they would say, but I didn't mean to hurt you by that. A friend would tell you that your dress is too small. And kind of that's what we want anyway. We want our people that love us, we want them to have our back, right? If we're looking funny in any kind of way, we kind of want to be told, don't we? So you got to look at the bigger picture. The people that love you, let them help you. Even though it may sting. It may sting. But you know what? It's okay. We're strong people. Stings will go away. Stings will disappear. Stings will not sting forever. So that's what we do. And it's scripted. You don't even have to figure out. It's 3 lines. When someone offends you, grab your happiness and go to that person and say what I just said to say. Let them explain, and then hug it out. And then you'll be surprised. Then you won't end up angry, and anger won't grab its ugly friends like all the other disappointing things in your life. They all won't surface, and then you'll have a bad day. None of that. Keep offense out of your life. And if you don't do it for anyone, do it for yourself. Okay. We did this here. So this whole section of the kitchen is done. So let's go on the other side. So as I come over to this counter here, you'll see that I have a little container here, and I put pink salt in here, which is this. I don't know if any of you have heard of the pink salt hack. But what I do is I grind some salt up, put it in this little container, and all you do is take a pinch and put it underneath your tongue every morning. And what it will do is it will take away cravings, nighttime cravings. If you do this, a pinch of salt every morning, and if you were to drink a tall glass of water, you would not crave at nighttime. Now, I don't advise this if you have a blood pressure problem because it's salt. But so that's why this stays here, so that it reminds me when I come down to drink my water, and I make my coffee. While I'm waiting for my coffee, I take my pinch of salt. That's why that's there. So see, if you look, behind everything is clean. So what I'm just doing is I'm just doing the front of everything. Just the front of I have a lot of things on my counter. I know I do, because you know why? I don't have a lot of counters. I don't have a lot of cabinet space. So my flour sits here. We make a lot of jasmine rice. My rice sits here. It's a way that I can store my food in the kitchen. And we use a lot of rice and a lot of flour, so I like these out on the cabinets. But because of my high temperature cooking, and I think my fan over the stove doesn't work very good, so I just keep that there and that there. That reminds me. I think my stove over the kitchen doesn't work very well because I cook on high heat every day, and the steam goes on everything. All right, so this side over here was really quick. And this is the last side. Yes, I still have my mugs. I know, I told you. I love my mugs. So let's do this. I know needs it. Actually over here, this is the only thing that needs it. Because I use a different mug every day, the mugs stay clean. Yes, I need a variety. One day it's Santa, one day it's a snowman, one day it's Christmas tree. Then I have the gingerbread over there. Then I have another gingerbread. Oh, I have a reindeer, and then I have another male snowman. I love that little collection. And let me tell you where I got that collection from. Believe it or not, over the years, the dollar store. Which one? Not Dollar General. Is it Dollar General? Dollar General, the yellow sign, not Dollar Tree. Dollar General, yeah, at different times. I got all these different at the dollar store over the years. And I just kept them, and I built up a nice collection. And I love them. Okay. All right, so this section here is easy and done. Okay. All the counters are done. Done. I did the fronts of everything another time. So the only thing I'm gonna do now is this floor, and then we'll be done with the kitchen. Not really mopping the floor, but all the edges. And I think I'm gonna use a sponge, gloves, and Dawn dish liquid. Love Dawn dish liquid. I'm going to use, of course, my handy dandy pillow. But I'm going to use soapy water, Dawn dish liquid. And I'm going to use all-purpose. This is another Jaws product, all-purpose cleaner. I'm just going to spray the edges and then use the sponge and then wipe. But anyway, I wanted to finish my topic on how to have a happy life. The teaching for today is done. But what I want to say is there are many teachings on how to have a happy life. I touched on one today, but there are many. And what I want to do is I want to do like a series as I clean. So every time I clean, I will have a different angle to how to have a happy life. So I don't want you to think that that's dealing with a fence is the only thing that you have to do. So it's a process. But what I want to say though is people who are happy, they're not happy accidentally. They do certain things to be happy. That's why they're happy. It's it's all about perspective. And so what we want to hit on is, we did offense. Then we want to hit on, I'll pick 5 topics. We want to hit on analyze your life and what really makes you happy, where you're able to achieve those happiness in your current state, meaning if you're able to do it financially, if you're able to do it physically, if you're able to do it in your everyday life. Think on those things. Yes, vacation once a year is great if that's what you enjoy. And I'm not talking about when I say, what is it? I need you to brainstorm. What is it that really makes you happy, that you can do and you can afford and you're able right now? What would that be? And those are the things that you have to write them down. As a matter of fact, we'll pick up on my next video this perspective, this angle on how to have a happy life. And what you need to do is you need to write down, and it's going to take a minute, because a lot of times we hustle and bustle in life. We go to work, we come home, we watch the kids, we take care of the kids, we clean, we cook, we're a husband, we're a wife to our husbands. There's just so many things that our life is involved. And so when I say to you, take a minute and think about what are the things that really make you happy. You may have to sit and think for a minute, because it's not something that we normally think. We normally are so busy trying to accomplish what we need to accomplish in our everyday life. So I remember giving a class a couple of years ago, and when I asked the 35 students to do this, they were all looking at me, and these students were between 45 and 65. All right, the age. And they were like, you would have thought I asked them to climb Mount Everest. I just asked, write down your top 5 things that make you happy, that you can do today in your current state. They were like, what? Oh, well, and it was like, they didn't know what to do with that question. I find that amazing. So, heads up to you, if you subscribe, then you'll just, if you do your homework and sit down and do what I'm saying, then next time we have my next video, I'll go into more detail and explain how that's another angle of how to have a happy life. But write it down on a piece of paper. Take a minute. So you say, I don't know what would make me happy. Well, you know what you can do? You can go back in time and think about things that you used to do, that you still can do, that you still can afford. I think I got to turn the camera around. Oh, no, you can see. Well, let me just go like this. There we go. Like that. So, you may say, well, give me some examples. Sure, I'll give you some examples. Maybe you love to read. Maybe reading really makes you happy, but you say you don't have time to read. Well, that one, not only is it affordable, because even if you don't have funds to go buy a book, you can go to the library and find a book. But what you have to do, if that's one of them, because a lot of time, though I'm an avid reader, those of us who love to read, we put it aside because we're trying to hustle and bustle through life. But I'm telling you that this is very important to your everyday life, if that is one of them, to get you a book, magazine, whatever it is that you like to read. Okay, and then I'll go in more detail about that in my next video. What do you do once you get your little list? Okay, so let's try another one. And I mean, all of them are as simple as that. But we put surviving before something as little as buying a book. Okay, let's go over here now. I'll bring you in the laundry room here. Okay. If you notice, see, I'm doing the edges. Because I mop the floor all the time, but I don't do these edges. So what's another one? It seems like I'm going through this teaching already, doesn't it? Hey, if that be, that be. That's the way it's gonna be. That's the way it's gonna be. Okay. Man, my floor's dirty. If you probably can't see from there, but wow. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you see how clean that sponge is? Watch this. Oh my, this is not good. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. Now I want you to say, oh girl, your flooring dirty. You ready? Okay. Okay. That's pretty bad. All right, so let's get another one. Oh, I see something. Oh, right here. Wow, that's bad. Wow. I'm down here. You don't see these things until you get on your knees. So let's come up with another one that is affordable. It won't take time to go anywhere. Like if you said, oh, I want to go to Hawaii. No, we're not talking about a vacation. You can't do Hawaii every day. Something you can do every day that will make you happy. It could be a movie. Like you like movies. But you don't give yourself any time to watch a good movie. Girl, let me change this water. Wow. I only did half this kitchen, and this water is so dirty. Wow. I better change the water. All right, let's go over here. Move that out of the way. Got some fresh water. Ugh. Oh, wow. That's where my coffee is. So, coffee. So, let's have another one. So, we came up with a book, reading, whatever. Could be a magazine, book, whatever. We came up with making yourself sit down with your honey bunny or your kids and watch a movie. Movie time. How about this? How about games? You may like to play games. I don't have time for games. Make time. If that's what, if you really enjoy playing games, make time for you to play a game. Whether it's a board game, a puzzle, what else called? Crossword puzzle. Like you can go get games in the booklet. Yeah. Tons of games. Sudoku, crossword puzzles, fill-ins, word search, all them. If you like doing those, go to Barnes & Noble and get you a book. While you're there, if you want to read. I don't have time to read. Here's the key. I'm not saying lay down for 7 hours and read a book. I'm saying find 30 minutes out of your day and relax. Get you something warm or cold to drink. Sit in your favorite chair. Get your blankie or your slippers or after your shower or in your pajamas, however it is you want to be comfortable, and get you a beautiful bookmarker and sit under a light, good lighting, and read just 30 minutes. Give yourself that. If you have more time, give yourself more time. If you like to read before bed, in the bed. Well, if in the morning it's quiet, wake up if you're a coffee drinker, and go to your chair just with your coffee and just read for 30 minutes.
Could be lunch time, lunch break at work. Bring your book to work if you're not social, and you can read at work. Now, if you really feel there's absolutely no time to read, there's audio. You could play that in the car while you're driving. I mean, there's many ways. So that's one. The reason why I'm spending a lot of time on this one is because I'm a pro at novel reading, because I love to read. I said movies. I don't have time to watch no movie. Well, you know what? It's called start a movie, and if you run out of time, hit stop, and then pick it up the next day or whatever. But it may take you 3 days to get through one movie, but the point is you'll enjoy that time, that hour of happy. Give yourself 1 hour every single day of happy, all about you time. And then if you're married, you can figure out how to do that with your spouse. There's ways to do that. Okay, so that's 2. It may be talking to someone, like going out to lunch, or go have a cup of coffee with a friend, or, could be, that kind of social thing. Make time. Get your girlfriends and say, we're going out every week. We're going to go I'll meet you for coffee, if that's what you enjoy. It could be going to the gym. You got time to go to the gym if you really like that. But my point is, there's thousands of ways to have fun without breaking the bank, or if you're not fit to do it anymore, and things like that. There's things we can do. Knitting, crocheting, all those kind of things where sewing. Oh, here's one. Cooking. I gotta cook I don't have time. But you really do. And I think for some people it's enjoyable to get a recipe and write down the ingredients and then go to the store and get the ingredients and get it all set up when you have an hour when the kids are asleep or at school, or a day when you're off, and on the weekends plan to make something tasty and enjoy that. Whatever it is that you like to do, you need to do it every single day. Now, of course, you can't cook every day. Of course, you can't go to the gym every day. Well, you could, but you don't. Well, I don't know. You should. Nope, maybe not. I think they say 3 days a week you should go to the gym. But the point is, that's why I say grab 5 of the things that you really enjoy doing, and then fit it in that day. Like if cooking is one, obviously you can't cook something every day, so that would be cook on the weekend. But just enjoy that time. Set it up. Make sure the father has the kids, or is taking care of the kids, or if you have kids. So I remember doing this, and one of the people said that they loved doing was playing the piano, but they don't, or the violin, but they don't have time for that anymore. Make time. Set it up. Treat yourself like you're special. Set it up. Get that violin out and just go over in the corner somewhere when everybody's taken care of, and just close your eyes and enjoy playing music, if that's yours. It could be shopping. We gotta be careful. Be careful on shopping. Get your budget. If you like to shop by yourself, give yourself that little time, and just, whether it's once a month, every other week, and just go buy me something. It's called fun time. But anyway, brainstorm. If you can't think of anything, what did you used to do? And then think of 5. So I actually finished this angle. So think of 5. And then love yourself every day and do it. It could be on the phone. You like talking to people on the phone. Make that call and make that time special. Don't just grab the phone while you're rushing to go talk to your girlfriend who you treasure. Sit down with some coffee or a snack or something, and look out the window and enjoy your friend. Enjoy, if that's what it is. Do you see how the few that I did mention, there's no money involved, and if there is, it's a very little money. It could be crafts. It could be card making. My sister-in-law loves to make cards, and she goes and takes a class. Could be a class on, what is that? Pottery. Yeah, pottery. I mean, there's so many things in life. A friend of mine loves to clean her car, and it's already clean, but she gets satisfaction of waxing her car and cleaning her car. Well, then make sure you do. Make sure that's one of them, and then you say, today, which one am I going to grab? If you feel like doing the car, do the car. If you feel like doing, every day in your block of time of happiness, pick one of them and make it fit the way you feel that day, the weather or whatever needs to be evolved, and do it. Okay, we're done with the floor. I did all the edges. The kitchen's done. Let's scan the kitchen. Oh, let's see if I can get up. Oh, Lord.
So before I end this video, I want to show you my Jaws collection. Here we have the multi-purpose kitchen cleaner, glass cleaner, and disinfectant. They're not sponsoring this, but I just love these products because they're environmental safe, and they're safe for your animals, and they're safe for you too. So guess what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to do something I enjoy. I'm going to make me a cup of coffee. So until the next time, love you guys. Bye. Also, if you know someone else that needs a little happiness in their life, someone else that struggles with not being happy, send this video to them as well. And subscribe.